The program you're about to watch is underwritten by Allergan Aesthetics, an AbbVie company. The views expressed therein are solely those of the doctors. I struggled as a youth and young adult with acne, and I know firsthand how difficult that can be. Our first glow-getter is Bethany Doke.
Hi, I'm Bethany. I'm 21. I'm in college right now, so that's like a lot of high anxiety, high stress times, and I've noticed that my skin has taken quite the beating, and I've been experiencing a lot of painful red deep acne along my jawline and on my neck even, which seems to take a lot longer to heal than any acne I get on the rest of my face. I've been keeping up with a routine every day, twice a day, tea tree and moisturizing and charcoal, but it just doesn't seem to be getting better. So I was just wondering if you have any tips or products or routines that you recommend to help kind of manage and balance this in my daily life.
So Bethany's adorable, and I love all that red hair. But college students can be so very stressed, and the issue is that there's many, many things. But what is she doing wrong? I am not a fan of tea tree oil, so I will start off by saying that. I know everybody thinks it's antibacterial that's out there in that world, but we in our world, I don't like tea tree oil.
Why not?
Other thoughts? I feel like it clogs pores. I feel like it irritates people. People have used it in their hair, and it's caused some hair breakage issues with some of my patients. It's definitely something that's not my favorite.
And it's estrogenic.
Is it estrogenic? That I did not know. That is very fascinating. Ruth, I feel like you were going to say something.
The interesting thing she was saying was that she was using tea tree oil and moisturizer, and she was breaking out. So first and foremost, right there, she's putting too much on, probably.
Right.
But what really got me was that she's a freshman or a sophomore in college, and I tell all my young patients that are going off to college, sleep. Most important thing I can tell them, they make bad decisions when they haven't slept. Their face breaks out when they aren't sleeping.
They drink a little too much alcohol.
They're drinking too much alcohol.
And then probably too much caffeine.
And then comes, binging after you've drank too much alcohol and eating the wrong foods, fried foods, which we know can make, acne worse. Too much sugar, which we know can make acne worse.
So what would you say to her, though? You would tell her to sleep more.
I would tell her to sleep more.
Well, and they probably have those long college buffets too, where she's eating maybe perhaps a little too much, getting the freshman 10, raising her blood sugar, creating the acne, too much dairy. So we do know now that the diet does contribute to the formation of acne.
And there's a new topical retinoid that's available as well. So that's exciting in terms of new things that we have to offer. But I would tell this young woman, Bethany, to go seek the attention of a board-certified dermatologist immediately, because I would not want those cysts that she's describing on her jawline to scar. And I don't want her picking at her face. That's not the way to really get the look that we're looking for.
And I would say that just because something is natural doesn't mean, or organic, doesn't mean that it's necessarily good for you. So you don't go pouring poison ivy all over your face, right? And so just because something like tea tree oil is perceived as natural doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be good for your face. And so looking at the product she's applying, making sure it's non-comedogenic, oil-free, including her makeup.
Indeed.
I'd like to say one other thing, which is that tea tree oil, if used in tiny little drops, that can be helpful if you're just applying the whole oil to the face. But she has jawline cystic acne, which is definitely hormonal and can also be related to increased amount of stress.
And she needs oil-free moisturizers and oil-free makeup. And now we're going to hear from another glow-getter, Jordan Wynn.
Hi guys, I'm Jordan. When I was younger, I had really bad acne in my temple area and it left a lot of residual scarring. I was wondering if there are any treatments you recommend to get rid of this. Thanks so much.
Jordan is gorgeous, and acne can scar your soul. So people obsess over their acne scars, and that's the truth of the matter. So people will come in with the teeniest amount that I barely see, but it's been bothering them for 1,000 years. So that's how acne scars really can affect your psyche and affect a bit of who you are. That being said, I like the radiofrequency microneedling for somebody like her. I think that would be fantastic. Ava, I feel like you had a point that you wanted to make.
Well, I just think it's really important to differentiate between actual acne scars, which are depressions or almost like needle marks in the skin, versus pigmentation, dark spots, because people use the
terms interchangeably, and they're not.
Exactly.
I tell people, look, that's a dark mark. We can fade that. This depression is something different.
So for the dark marks, we'd like to use more peels, more at-home care.
Lasers
and then
sometimes.
Sometimes lasers. And for the pitted scars, I agree with you. I like the radiofrequency microneedling.
I've started to use some threads under the skin to help acne scars. And what I've learned is that where you see that depression, that pulling down, isn't necessarily where the scar really is. It's the tissue around it that the collagen is abnormal and hasn't healed well. So when you put the thread under the whole area, even far away from the scar in the cheek, sometimes those temple scars get better, and the results can really last. And the threads dissolve over time. The scars stay better.
And you're creating new collagen with the thread,
And one thing that's really interesting is that, and you're creating new collagen, is that scars that look like they're minor when you're in your 20s can look very deep when you're in your 40s or 50s, because you lose collagen and elasticity. So I'm much more aggressive about treating acne scarring in my younger patients, so they don't have those heavy scars when they're older.
And it's important to know that there are many different types of acne scars, and so we have what we call ice pick scars, and then we have which are very small but very deep, and then we have what are called boxcar scars, which are a little more shallow.
And so I'd say to you, so yes, the scars that generally respond best to lasers, because I do a lot of lasers in my practice, are the ones that if you kind of tuck a little bit on the skin and they disappear, those are called rolling scars. Those are going to respond better to a laser. The boxcar scars, or the pitted scars specifically, usually respond better to like a TCA cross peel. So just knowing that not all scars, to your point, Ruth, are going to respond equally to the devices that we have.
And they look different under different lights, too.
And TCA, we have to be careful of, because TCA you would not do in my skin type on somebody's face at all unless you were inviting or courting disaster. So it just really depends.
On the skin type.
Do you want to be part of our Derm Squad? Like us and subscribe to The Gist.